And for more analysis on the state of the U.S. economy, let's bring in Dan McClory. He's Managing Director and Head of China for Boustead Securities. Thanks for joining us, Dan.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, despite nagging fears of a recession, the U.S. added, 390,000 new payrolls last month, slower than in April, but still robust. What's your assessment on the health of the job market?
Job market's good. Supposedly there's 2 openings for every available unemployed person right now. So it's looking great. It's remaining very opportunistic, but there's an expectation that unemployment will be 3.5 instead of 3.6%, but it's not a major derivation.
And what's some of the sectors driving this growth? Because some areas such as hospitality, manufacturing, lifeguarding facing a labor shortage, right?
They sure are. It's that adage, it's about experiences, not things. So people bought less things, they consumed less products, but they're sure consuming experiences, whether it's travel, going out to dinner, vacations, starting to get back.
So salaries also increased, we saw, by more than 5%. But has that been enough to offset inflation? And what can the Federal Reserve do to cool prices?
It really hasn't been enough. To answer your question, it has not been enough to offset inflation. Key consumer staples are rising at alarming rates. So even a slightly aggressive increase in payroll wages is not keeping pace with that. What can the Fed do? There's a couple of 50 basis point hikes that are probably still out there if we listen to the various Fed regional presidents that are making various predictions there or talking about it. And, they're looking in that way to get inflation under control.
Dan, retirement funds, I want to cry when I talk about this, really being bludgeoned by the volatility of the stock markets. Has that affected yet, that group considering, delaying retirement or even returning to the workforce? Are we seeing a lot of that now?
I think the first reaction has been, don't look at the results. It's been a bloodbath. It's been the tech wreck too, the great sell-off, whatever you want to call it. So, keep calm is what people are saying, and just to retain your own presence of mind. But I think when you combine inflation, what we just talked about, with perhaps reduced returns from those portfolios, that's really the only direction you can go. What do they say? If your outgo exceeds your income, then your upkeep becomes your downfall. So people have to work longer, generate more income in this type of an environment.
And now, we heard in that report earlier, Elon Musk trying to cut his workforce. He also recently said that Tesla workers need to get back into the office. What's the prevailing feeling in the country? Many have got used to working from home, and with gas prices, they don't want to be commuting anymore. But does the labor market actually have that power to make these demands? We're not coming back unless we can keep working from home?
I think to a certain point they have that power, but not much further and not much longer. Clearly, from the worker standpoint, they enjoy the flexibility of working from home, at least the majority of the time. Most of the employers, however, would like to see people back in the office. And I'm reminded of, if you can work from anywhere, then someone from anywhere can do your job. So just keep that in mind when everybody wants to keep working remotely.
Well, I'm kind of glad that I can't really work remotely. Now, this, of course, is an election year. Midterms now just, 5 months away. How will the state of the economy play into all this? Because the messaging, on one hand, you can go, oh, look at the unemployment rates, our job numbers are all going strong. But at the same time, we keep talking about inflation, prices. So how is the economy going to, will it favor the Democrats or the Republicans in this sense?
I would almost say sort of pick one or another upside and have it have a neutral or perhaps a positive effect on the elections. And that would be the following, either get inflation under control and don't feel it so much at the pump or the supermarket where everyday America really gets hit, or have a robust stock market, have investments that are functioning and things are going up and people are feeling good. We got to let people feel good about one or the other, but if both of those are going south, it's going to be really tough for incumbents.
Dan, 30 seconds. I really have to circle back. We started by talking about the specter of recession in the U.S. How warranted are these jitters? is a recession coming?
I think it is, but I don't think it's going to have an immediate arrival. I think it's going to be felt a little bit more slowly. And again, in the face of this rampant inflation, it will be quite an effect, but it is not going to be a flip the switch type of a recession, but I think one is on the way.